Hey everyone, and welcome back to Better Than the Bank. This episode is Week 8 Fantasy Buy Low NBA Players. So, last week, we know, Week 7 of Fantasy was a crazy week in the NBA with the in-season tournament, all the finals going on, the teams going to Vegas. I'd like to say well done to Lakers for winning that. Their game plan against the Pacers was amazing. They just didn't let Tyrese Halliburton beat them. Great game plan. Well done the Pacers making that far. But now, let's look at the first buy low player for Week 8. Jamal Murray. Why is this? He's currently ranked 75th on our standard rankings for sleeper lock-in mode, and he's averaging 17.55 fantasy points a game. So, this year he's only played 10 games. His minutes have been down about 4 minutes less than they normally are. This year he's only averaging 29 minutes, 29.9 minutes. Last year he averaged close to 33 minutes. So that increase in minutes is already going to bump his rank up a little bit. His field goal percentage is the second lowest of his career. His lowest being his rookie year. He's shooting 42.5% from the field. Last year he shot 45% from the field. His three-point percentage is around 40% like he will always shoot. He's a great three-point shooter. But that field goal percentage is going to increase. And with the minutes increasing, the field goal percentage increasing, he's only averaging 17.4 points per game at the moment. Last year he averaged 20 points per game. I expect that to get back to 20 points per game. The year before that he even got 21.2. So I believe he will get at least 20 points per game. That field goal percentage I believe will increase. The minutes will increase. That will lead to more assists, more rebounds. I'd say 75 for his rank isn't that far off what he should be projected. I reckon he could be a top in lock-in mode. Sorry about that. For lock-in mode, he could be a top 50 player borderline. He has those games where he just will not miss. He plays amazing. This year he hasn't played that well so far, but that's because of his injuries. He's got us some 24-point games, 24 and a half. But he's come back from injury. He's been on his minute restrictions. He's got 23 and a half fantasy points and 10 and a half fantasy points. So, this is your time to buy low on him. Because last year we saw he had those huge games he could get last year. He gave you some 40 fantasy point games. He was amazing last year. As a starting point guard on a team, you need to trade for him. That 1-2 punch between Jokic and Jamal, he's a great player to have in your fantasy. So, why would I be trading for him? He's currently ranked 75th. So if you can trade a player who's around his rank at the moment, I would 100% do that. Because Jamal Murray, I believe, will jump. His minutes will increase, as we said before. More assists, more rebounds will happen. His field goal percentage is going to increase. He's going to end up taking more shots with his more minutes. He's going to get to his 20 points per game. He's going to be hovering around the 50th, I would say. There's going to be games where he goes crazy. There's going to be games where he doesn't go so crazy because Jokic just runs the whole offense. But that pick and roll between those two can be nasty to play against. So, the next player, Ben Simmons. Why is he a buy low? His rank has been when he's played, not much. He played the first 8 games of the season, 7 games, 6, whatever it was. He's currently ranked 66. He's averaging 21.92 fantasy points. However, the reason he is a buy low, not because of how he's been performing when he was playing, but because of his injury scare. He has a back injury. So, players who aren't going so well, teams which aren't going so well that have Ben Simmons, they're going to be worried about when is he going to come back. The timeline is still unknown. A month ago, the Nets coach said, he should be back in a month. That evidently has not happened. But he will play this season, I believe. I hope he plays. So, if you have a coach in your NBA fantasy that believes just they're not going that well, they want to get Ben Simmons off their roster because of the concern of the injury. He could be a steal. He is, when he plays, a top 50 fantasy player easily. We know he's not that 18 points per game scorer anymore like he was in Philly. But he's a triple-double threat every time he steps in that court. Defensively as well, he can get you those blocks. He can get you those steals. Lock-in mode especially, he can have games where he gives you 10 points, 10 rebounds, 13 assists. He gets you 3 steals and 3 blocks. That fantasy game is fantastic. That is amazing. He can any game he plays, he can give you like a 35 fantasy point game. That is fantastic. So, I want to say this again. So, I would only trade for him if you have someone in your league who is willing to sell low on him. You want to buy low on this player. There's no point of giving up someone who's ranked 50th for him. There's no point of that because we don't know when he's going to return. It's hard with Ben Simmons' back injury. So, if you're in a good position, you've been winning your games. We're in week 8. If you only have a couple losses so far, I would go for it. It could put you in such a good position by the end of the year. You may be taking a couple of losses, but if you can give someone, as we said, around the Jamal Murray rank, around the 75th, around the 80, around the 90th, 75 is probably the max I'd give up. But if you can give a 75th player or below for Ben Simmons, that is a steal because when he comes back, he's easily a top 75 player, a top 50 player. He's a triple-double threat, as we said before. And if you can get him low, that is a steal of a buy low. So do that. Our next player, Anthony Simmons. So, why is he buy low? He's currently ranked 41st. I don't know how this. I don't know why he's ranked 41st. He's averaging 21 fantasy points at the moment, but he's only played 3 games. Players are going to be concerned about his injury history. They're not going to. It's very hard to rank Anthony Simmons right now. The 41 rank, no one's going to look at. No one should look at. He's going to be like the star player for the Blazers. You have a top player. If you get a top player for cheap on an NBA team, that is fantastic. A top player, Anthony Simmons, he'll have games where he goes for 10 threes. He'll give you those dirty bombs. He can go off any night. He's a fantastic player like that. This year, he is averaging 25.3, shooting great from the three-point line. We know it's only 3 games, so it's a very small sample. But he is someone who can shoot 40% from 3. His field goal percentage is currently down, but this really doesn't matter. It depends what league you're playing in. You're not going to buy low for him in every league. But if you can buy low for Anthony Simmons, Anthony Simmons is easily a top 50 player, especially in lock-in mode this year. He's going to have games where he'll give you 40 fantasy points. He is their go-to option for the Blazers. He's going to take a lot of shots a game. A lot of shots, especially with Dame gone. Jeremy Grant is currently injured at the moment. I'm not too sure off the top of my head how long he's out for. But when Jeremy Grant's out as well, their second scoring option, he is going to take so many shots a game. He just needs one night where he goes off, hits all those shots, and is going to give you 40 fantasy points. So, what would I trade for him? I'd say he's easily a top 50 player. He's currently ranked 41st. I reckon he's going to fluctuate a lot this year, but this is a chance to buy low for him. So if you could give someone rank 60th or below, so 60th is like 100 for example, that is a steal for him because Anthony Simmons is easily going to be in the top 60, top 50 easily because of that flamethrower mentality he has where he can give you 40 fantasy points any single night. That's someone I would trade for right now. So, our 4th buy low player, Zach Lavine. He has been quite a disappointment this year. So, the real question is, has he been playing like this because he wants to leave Chicago? We know he wants to leave Chicago. Or is he just having a down year? He's currently ranked 71st. He's averaging 18.58. That's probably the worst fantasy points he's averaged in a long, long time. He's currently injured. He's expected to be out for 3 to 4 weeks. So there. Another reason to buy low. He's playing bad and he's injured. But I just don't believe he's going. He's shooting. Let's see. He's shooting 3-point percentage. He's currently shooting 33% from 3. That's the worst in his career. Last year, he shot 37%. The year before, 39%. The year before, 42% from 3. So even if he does only get it up to 37%, that's a huge increase in his 3-point percentage. His field goal percentage, one of the worst in his career. He's shooting 44% from the field. Last year he shot near 49% from the field. You get his field goal percentage up to 48. That's standard for him. That is standard. You get him up to his career average 3-point. We'll give him 37%. That's going to increase his efficiency. His points going to go up. He's only averaging 21 points this year. It's going to get to he's going to get to 25. However, the risk is, will he get traded? What role will he have on a team? I believe a team that's trading for him, he will have like the second scoring option role, maybe even the third scoring option role. But I do believe he will be playing better than this, because right now this has been one of the worst years for him in the past 6 years. I'd say he can play so much better than this. He has top 50 potential easily. He is a flamethrower. He has top 30, top 35 potential. He is a fantastic player who can score in bunches. He can give you 50 bombs. We've seen that. Near the start of the year, he's given us a 39 fantasy point game. He's given us a 25.5, a 28.5, 31, 29, 33. We know he can score in bunches. There's some games where he just doesn't perform. He doesn't look like he wants to be there. But if Chicago keeps him, I feel like his field goal percentage is going to increase. His 3-point percentage is going to increase. He's going to score more. He's going to become a top 50 fantasy player. This is the time to buy low for him now. It's the worst I've ever seen him play. It just doesn't look. He doesn't look like he wants to be there. His injury as well. So if you have a player who's scared, Zach Lavine's going to get traded, he's going to play worse. He's not going to play worse on whatever team he goes to. No team is trading for him. Just sit there in the corner, shoot threes. They're trading for him for someone who can score and give them 30 points any single night. So he's still going to be a main scoring option on whatever team he goes to if he gets traded. So he's currently ranked 71st, as I said before. I would give. If you say, I'll give you the 65th ranked player. 65th, sure. That's above Zach Lavine. Zach Lavine's also injured. If you can give 65th or below, that is a great trade, because Zach Lavine by the end of the year will be a top 50 fantasy player. So I would try and trade for Zach Lavine right now, especially with his injury. This is the time to trade for him now. So the next player, Darius Garland. He's currently ranked 84th right now and only averaging 18.5 fantasy points per game. So we know Darius Garland. He is someone who can give you 10 assists any night, 20 points easily. His efficiency from the 3-point line is what's making him a buy low at the moment. He's currently shooting 32% from 3. He normally gets us around 38% from 3. That, I believe, will increase. He's shown he's a 3-point shooter. This is the worst in his career. The year before, he shot 41% from 3. The year before, 38.3. The year before, 40%. Let's say he doesn't reach his 40%. He'll reach 39% at least. That increase of 0.65% is crazy. That will increase his points per game back to the 21 he's averaged the past 2 years. He's only averaging 19.6 right now. Well, that is a big increase. And we also know his turnovers this year have been horrendous. He's averaging 4 turnovers per game. The year before he did average 3. Been a lock-in mode. He's not giving you 4 turnovers every game. There's going to be some games he gives you 6 turnovers. There's going to be some games he gives you like 1 turnover. That game where he gives you the 1 turnover, the 12 assists, the 20 points, those are going to be great fantasy games. He can rank so much above than what he's ranking right now. Ranked 84th for a starting point guard of his caliber, an all-star caliber player, is woeful. He can be a top 50 player. He may not reach it, but he can be a top 50 player. We know he doesn't have the ball in his hands as much with Donovan Mitchell, but he was with Donovan Mitchell last year. We know he can average those. We know what he can do with the ball. We know his playmaking. We know his scoring prowess. You give up a player 65th or below that, that is a great trade. I know Garland's ranked 84th at the moment, as we said. So that is definitely a buy low. If you could give someone around the range of the 84th for Darius Garland, you're getting an amazing steal. He's a starting caliber point guard, an all-star caliber point guard who can give you 20 and 10 any single night. And he can shoot the 3 so efficiently. So that 3-point percentage going up, he's going to hit more 3s. His turnovers, I believe, will drop. He is a player that you must buy for now. And the last player we have today, Devin Vassell. So why is he a buy low? He's currently ranked 115th and averaging 17.6 fantasy points. So, injuries have been interesting for him. At the start of the year, he was getting 35 minutes per game, 39 minutes per game. He was getting in the mid to high 30s. Since he's come back from injury, he's getting around the mid 20s because of the minute restrictions. The past 2 games, he's given us 33 minutes and 31 minutes, so we know they're ramping up his minutes. In my opinion, he's the main scoring option for the Spurs. I know Victor's there, but he is a scorer. He can give you those games. He's given us 1 good game so far. He's given us a 24-point fantasy game. He's given us a 23 as well. That's quite good. We know that he can shoot around the 38% from 3, 39% from 3. He's currently doing that right now. So it's not really the efficiency. If anything, the efficiency is quite well. It's the minutes. Last year he averaged 31 minutes per game. Right now he's averaging 28 minutes per game. So with that minute increase, he's going to begin to score more. He's going to give us more assists. He's averaging 2.8 this year. Last year he averaged 3.6. I believe he could get to at least 4 assists, especially with Victor on your team. You can get a lot more assists chucking the ball up to him. He'll finish whatever you put up there. And the rebounds. He's averaging 2.8 this year. 3.7 last year. Sure, that may not increase that much with Victor and Zach Collins getting all the rebounds. But his assists will increase. I believe he will be one of the main playmakers for the Spurs. He'll be one of the main scoring options. Him and Victor will be like the 1-2 punch. He's going to give you games where he drops 30 fantasy points. Where he drops 30 fantasy points. Where he drops 30 actual points. He's going to have games where he shoots efficiently. He's going to have games where he doesn't shoot efficiently. But he's not an 114th ranked player. He's a top 75 ranked player in like any categories, like any points, like any sleeper lock-in mode, any sleeper just normal mode. He is a great player. He's a starting player. He's one of the main scoring options. When you can trade for a player who's a main scoring option on an NBA team for fantasy, for a player who's ranked like 80th or below, you could probably trade for someone who's 90th or below for Devin Vassell right now. Devin Vassell easily breaks the 90th mark. It may take him a couple weeks. It's going to be in the long run. His minute restriction is going to ramp up. When those minutes go up, he's going to be a great player. As we said before, top 75 player easily. So right now, you could probably trade a 90th player for Devin Vassell. In the long run, it will be a steal. I can promise you that. So, thank you for coming back. Thank you for watching Better Than the Bank. Week 8, the buy low players. Tune in soon for our sell high players, and we'll speak to you later. Thank you. Have a good week.